Good morning, I'm Atik Rumi, bring you the news on Gold FM.
The news.
In your headlines, Sri Lanka prepares to welcome Sinhala and Tamil New Year tomorrow. CEB volunteers await compensation after retirement. Indian Ocean is no longer safe from Middle East conflict. United States military prepares naval blockade of Iranian ports. Opposition landslides end Viktor Orban's 16-year rule in Hungary.
The top story on Gold FM.
The new year will officially dawn at 9:32 a.m. tomorrow. The period of spiritual reflection, the Nonagataya, begins much earlier at 3:08 a.m. tomorrow morning and will conclude at 3:56 p.m. in the afternoon. During this time, the public is encouraged to engage in religious activities and distance themselves from worldly work. Once the new year dawns, the hearths should be lit at this auspicious time at 10:51 a.m. tomorrow. Shortly after, at 12:06 p.m., the nation will unite to commence work, engage in financial transactions, and partake in the first meal of the new year. As far as other rituals are concerned, the anointing of oil is scheduled for Wednesday at 6:55 a.m. For those needing to depart for urgent duties, the time is 5:38 a.m. on Friday, facing the north. For the general return to work on Monday, the 20th of April, you may depart at 6:27 a.m. facing south or at 6:50 a.m. facing east. Finally, for those looking to nourish the environment, the auspicious time for planting a sapling is set for 9:01 a.m. on the 23rd of April, while facing the northern direction.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
The streets stayed crowded yesterday, with people purchasing essential items, including clothing and food supplies for the festivities. The police advised the public to take measures to minimize road crashes resulting from alcohol consumption and reckless driving during the New Year season. Deputy Inspector General in charge of Traffic Control and Road Safety, WPJ Senadira, states that a special program began to arrest intoxicated drivers. Security operations across the island involve 8,000 police officers deployed for the festive period. Police headquarters confirmed that 2,500 officers remain stationed within the Western Province alone to ensure public safety. In the meantime, the medical director of the Institute of Sports Medicine, Dr. Dhammika Senanayaka, stated that organizers of New Year festivals should take steps to arrange competitions in shaded areas as much as possible. The Union of Retirees claims the government failed to pay promised compensation to those who took voluntary retirement following the abolition of the Ceylon Electricity Board. Although the state pledged payments for those retiring after the 9th of March dissolution, the affected group now seeks intervention from Energy Minister Kumara Jayakodi. Under the restructuring process, the board split into 6 separate companies, while employees unwilling to transition received the option of voluntary retirement. The government set a maximum compensation limit of 5 million rupees for those opting to leave the service. Approximately 2,000 employees applied for the voluntary scheme and officially retired from the board. The Energy Minister also received reports regarding administrative harassment directed at employees who supported the reform process. The Public Utilities Commission decided yesterday to exclude additional costs incurred from coal issues during electricity tariff revisions. Amidst these developments, police moved to seal the head office of the Lanka Coal Company in Kohuala 2 days ago. One power generation unit at the Norochure Lakvijay coal power plant remains shut down for essential maintenance work. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says that the loss from importing substandard coal might be shifted onto the public, either directly or indirectly. He said this while addressing a gathering in Hambantota, and in the interest of clarity, we refrain from dubbing his remarks.
දසලක්ෂ සංඛ්‍යාත ජනතාව රවට්ටලා බලයට ආපු මේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා ප්‍රමුඛ ආණ්ඩුව අද අපොහොසත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා බඩු මිල ප්‍රශ්නෙට විසඳුමක් ලබා දෙන්න. ගෑස්, ඉන්ධන, බෙහෙත් හේත් පොහොර මිල පහත දමන්න වහා කටයුතු කරනවා. ජනතාවට ජීවත් වෙන්න අමාරුයි. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තෙන් තමන්ගේ සෝචකීකරු ගෝලබාලය යොදවාගෙන ගල්ලඟුරු වංචාවක් නම් ඉතාමත්ම ශක්තිමත්ව කාර්යක්ෂමව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. එක පැත්තකින් අපි සතුටු වෙනවා මහජන උපයෝගිතා කොමිසම ප්‍රසිද්ධ ප්‍රකාශයක් කරලා තියෙනවා. ගල්ලඟුරු වංචාවේ බර පාරිභෝගිකයාගේ හිස මත පටවන්නේ නැහැ කිය. නමුත් අපිට සැකයක් තිබෙනවා. මේ බාල ගල්ලඟුරු පාවිච්චි කරලා ඒ තුලින් ඇතිවෙන විදුලි අඩුපාඩුව ජෙනරේටර් හරහා ඉන්ධන හරහා නිපදවන්නට යනකොට අනිවාර්යෙන්ම අලාභයක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මේ අලාභේ බර කරට ගන්න වෙන්නේ ජනාධිපතිවරයාටවත් කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයටවත් නොවේ. මෙරටේ 75 ලක්ෂයක් විදුලි පාරිභෝගිකයෝ.
If someone believes that the Indian Ocean is safe from the Middle East war, it is a mistake. A vessel was blown up in the ocean, bringing the war closer to Sri Lanka. Against this backdrop of a declining world order, blocs such as BRICS and the Indian Ocean Rim Association can play a crucial role in ensuring global security. These thoughts were expressed by former Indian State Minister of External Affairs M.J. Akbar as he addressed the 9th Indian Ocean Conference. The event on its first day was addressed by Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. He highlighted the necessity of collaboration between Indian Ocean states in protecting maritime spaces.
No single Indian Ocean state capable can preserve and protect the maritime space alone. The complex challenges demand a shared commitment, one that is rooted in cooperation, in transparency, and above all, in respect for international law. We must view the Indian Ocean as a global commons where not only the benefits are shared, but so too are the responsibilities. Our efforts must be pursued through strong institutional networks. The Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region, IFC IOR, enables real-time maritime information sharing, enhancing domain awareness and operational coordination among partner countries. Regional platforms such as the Indian Ocean Rim Association, IORA, the Indian Ocean Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, IPOI, BIMSTEC, Colombo Security Conclave, and the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium all provide structured avenues for dialogue, for cooperation, and for capacity building.
Former Indian State Minister of External Affairs M.J. Akbar, who addressed the summit on the second day, commented on how vulnerable the Indian Ocean is due to the Middle East war.
We are seeing today is the first time that a serious war is being fought over oil and water. And this brings me to the point that oil is impotent without water because production is meaningless without supply. If you think that Ukraine is not somehow connected to this and it's not part of a worldwide phenomenon, then I would just ask you just to glance at a bit of geography. Next to Crimea is Chechnya and Dagestan. Just south of Dagestan is the Caucasus. From Caucasus you enter Syria. From Syria, Palestine is not far away. From Palestine you come to the Red Sea, the Houthis, who are active participants via Iran or sometimes without Iran. Before this, without it. And this has developed into what I have called in an essay, the War of the Five Seas. Mediterranean, Caspian, Black Sea, Red Sea, and Arabian Sea. And those of you who are under the illusion that the Arabian Sea and its contiguous waters, the Indian Ocean, are somehow sanitized from this war, you might want to remember that a ship was blown up in the Indian Ocean. The war has come next to Sri Lanka, so Singapore, my friend, is not that far away.
He is of the view that blocs such as BRICS can play a role in bringing global peace and stability.
We are seeing today is the first time that a serious war is being fought over oil and water. And this brings me to the point that oil is impotent without water because production is meaningless without supply. If you think that Ukraine is not somehow connected to this and it's not part of a worldwide phenomenon, then I would just ask you just to glance at a bit of geography. Next to Crimea is Chechnya and Dagestan. Just south of Dagestan is the Caucasus. From Caucasus you enter Syria. From Syria, Palestine is not far away. From Palestine you come to the Red Sea, the Houthis, who are active participants via Iran or sometimes without Iran. Before this, without it. And this has developed into what I have called in an essay, the War of the Five Seas. Mediterranean, Caspian, Black Sea, Red Sea, and Arabian Sea. And those of you who are under the illusion that the Arabian Sea and its contiguous waters, the Indian Ocean, are somehow sanitized from this war, you might want to remember that a ship was blown up in the Indian Ocean. The war has come next to Sri Lanka, so Singapore, my friend, is not that far away.
Now for some news in brief.
The Department of Meteorology forecasts showers or thundershowers at most places of the island after 1 p.m, while fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in western, Sabargamo, central, southern and northwestern provinces. Global oil prices surged over 8% today as Brent crude climbed to $102 and US West Texas Intermediate reached $104 following the collapse of peace talks between Washington and Tehran. Despite the tension, shipping data showed 3 supertankers exited the Gulf over the weekend, though Saudi Arabia confirmed it restored its east-west pipeline capacity to 7 million barrels per day to mitigate regional supply disruptions. The US dollar reached a one-week high today following the failure of peace talks and the announcement of a naval blockade on Iranian ports. The greenback rallied against all major peers as investors sought safety amid the threat of renewed conflict in the Strait of Hormuz. US Central Command begins enforcing the maritime restriction today, a move that sent the euro and pound tumbling in early trading.
International news on Gold FM.
The United States military is set to begin a full maritime blockade of all traffic entering and exiting Iranian ports starting at 7:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time today. This escalation follows the breakdown of high-level diplomatic negotiations in Islamabad, where President Donald Trump claims Iran refused to abandon its nuclear ambitions, while the American administration maintains it will not impede vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz to other destinations. The president warned that the Navy is prepared to interdict any ship found paying transit tolls to Tehran. In response, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps declared that any military vessels approaching the shipping route will be dealt with severely, viewing the move as a direct violation of the standing ceasefire. Iranian parliamentary speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf dismissed the American strategy as an imperial show of power and warned that the blockade would lead to a domestic energy crisis for the United States. Meanwhile, the Iranian interior remains under a near-total internet outage, with citizens reportedly facing imprisonment for using satellite services like Starlink to bypass state restrictions. Meanwhile, tensions remain high across the region, with Hezbollah claiming dozens of strikes on Israeli possessions and Israeli soldiers reportedly taking control of entrances to the town of Bint Jbeil in southern Lebanon. In the meantime, the 16-year-old rule of Viktor Orban has come to an end following a resounding defeat in Hungary's national elections. Projections show Peter Magyar and his centre-right TISA party on course to win a two-thirds majority in the 199-seat legislature, a margin that allows the opposition to undo constitutional changes made during the previous administration. Addressing supporters in Budapest, Orban conceded the loss and stated while the future remains unclear, his party will continue to serve the nation from the opposition. The victory comes amid a record voter turnout of nearly 80%, driven by public frustration over economic stagnation and allegations of systemic corruption.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
The stage adaptation of Paddington has swept the Olivier Awards in London, securing 7 trophies, including Best New Musical. Composers and performers celebrated the production's themes of kindness, while James Hamid and Aarti Shah shared the Best Actor in a Musical prize for their collaborative portrayal of the famous bear.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Royal Challengers Bengaluru secured an 18-run win over the Mumbai Indians after posting a record-breaking 240 runs. Phil Salt led the charge with a blistering 78, supported by Rajat Patidar's rapid half-century to overcome losing the toss. Mumbai's response fell short at 222 for 5 as spin bowlers Suya Sharma and Krunal Pandya restricted the scoring in the middle overs. The match saw Mumbai captain Rohit Sharma retire hurt with a suspected hamstring injury as his side dropped to 8th in the standings. That's it for the news. I'm Atik Rumi. Have a great day.
Taking you back to the wonder years. Gold FM 93 or 93.2 FM island wide.
Making way for a prosperous Sinhala and Tamil New Year.